if I was going to teach someone how to do math, I would start with certain concepts. You see, things that are easy are kind of fun, and then you kind of take it from there. For example, if I just teach the numbers from 0 to 10, you may think, well, that's rudimentary, that's easy. But the point is, when a child first learns to count, they have a hard time with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. To them, that doesn't make any sense. And you try to teach them, well, it's about taking a step. If you start at 0, then you take one step. Now you made one step, and then you go 2 steps. But kids don't see that. They need to see physical things. So you would lay out pieces of paper, and you would show them. You take 1 step, 2, 3, 4, like that. And so that works. But for adults, we kind of need to, dumb it down, bring it down, so we can actually use it for our life, so we can see things. Example. Let's say, for example, a person made $26 an hour. And you say to yourself, well, how much do they make in a day? Well, if you think about 26 times 8, we can figure that out. Now you can do it 2 ways. You could break it down to a smaller amount, and that works. But how do you make it even more simplified? Well, if you look at 26 as 25 plus 1, we know that 25 times 8 is 200. Okay, so we've got $200, and now we've got 8 times hanging on, so now it's $208. You see, you can see it. That's the idea. Doing math is about simplifying things based on what you already know. A child wouldn't necessarily from the inception know how to say, well, if I'm at 0 and I move 1 step, I've gone 1. They would think, well, 0 is a number, and so therefore you've moved up, and that's not 2. It's only 1 step. That's why 0 is a real number. So again, taking the attitude of making it simplified by figuring out how to make it work. If you were doing something like 45 times 4, again, that may seem simple to you. I mean, you might be able to do that because you figure, well, 45 times 4, you've got 16, and then you got 20. You can end up together, and that makes sense in your mind. Do it that way. But if you do it in another way, you say, okay, 45 times 2 is 90. So instead of 45 times 4, you got 90 times 2, and 90 times 2 would be 180 because 9 times 2 is 18. You see, so you continually make it easier for your mind to figure out how to do it, and it's by design. Things that you learn in class will help you, but you need to use it for real-world application. So whenever you're looking at math, you have to really have fun with it and figure out how to make it part of your psyche so you can figure things out. See, one thing about the human brain is a problem-solving device. That's why we have cars, we have cell phones, we have refrigerators, we have all kinds of things that someone at some point said to themselves, I need to solve a problem. I'm in a dark room, so how can I illuminate the room? Start out with a candle. Now we have lights. I need to go from here to there without walking. Start out with a horse. Now we have cars. We have trains, planes. So the point is, it's all about utilizing the way of creating something that helps you to do more. And math is simply one of those many things. So let's go into something that I want you to use to practice, and you can kind of see how it works for you. We're going to square a number, and we'll start with 11. So if you look at 11, and again, you can just do it mentally right now. You can play this back if you want. Look at 11, and then go up 1. Now you have 12. Okay? Again, you simply add a 1 to it. You go up 1, add a 1, whatever. The number on the right side is going to be added to the full number. So now you got 11. You add the 1 to the 1. You got a 2. You got 12. And then you square 1. Of course, 1 times 1 is going to be 1. So now you have the 1 you place next to the 12. Now the number you have is 121. And that's the answer to 11 squared. It's simple. Now that you got the concept, you can just continue to use the same technique going all the way up as far as you want to go. Okay. So now let's do 12. Let's do 12 squared. Okay. Again, you've got 12, and you're going to go up by 2 because the 2 is the number on the right side. So 12 plus 2 is 14. Easy. You got 14 now. Now you square the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. You place the 4 next to the 14, and the answer is 144. So that's what 12 squared is. It's simple. Again, you can go all the way to 100, but we're going to just take a little bit more to make it kind of easy because you're saying, oh, it makes sense. Now let's do 13 squared. You're probably already ahead of me mentally. You know that if you take 13 and you add 3, it's 16. There it is. You got 16. Now you square 3, and that's 9. So it's 169 is 13 squared. It's easy. And just because there is a carryover from base 10, as you go a little bit higher, we'll do 14. So 14 squared. You take 14 and you go up 4, it's 18. It's 18. Okay. Now you square 4, and that's going to be 16. So you take the hanging 1, okay, and add it to the 8 from 18, make it to a 19, and then you've got the last part of that on there, which is 6. Okay. So it's going to be 196 is 14 squared. And again, I don't need to go through all this with you, but you can kind of see that by starting with just a simple number, 11, you can go all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. And you practice it. Because what happens is, a lot of times we get what is called math anxiety. Like someone says to you, oh, what is 18 times 14? And you start to say, oh, well, I'm nervous. What if I get it wrong? Instead of thinking, you got to start thinking. So if you think about it, you can kind of see how the numbers flow, or you can see how the numbers relate to each other. So for example, if you're doing 18 times 14, you add the 4 to the 18, that's 22, and then you're gonna say 8 times 4 is 32. Take 18 and you add 4, and that's going to be 22, and then you add a 3 to that. It's going to be 2, 5, 2 is the answer. Okay, good. So no one's perfect, and again, it's about just practicing. I didn't set it up. So suffice to say, practice. And also what you want to do is, as you do these things, you don't want to always do it mentally. You want to write things down. So write something down, see it on paper, work it out, because that's the way things do. That's the way things work. If you were to be working in a scientific environment, you wouldn't do mental math. You go on the board and write stuff out. So, I hope this was a fun time for you, just to kind of see how things go. If you made it this far, send me a message, and I can send you more information on how to improve your memory. Okay, this is John Morrison saying thanks for watching, and have a great day.